Okay, hello everyone, I'm back again, and this time I'm going to be talking about the RiutBag R range. That's the R10, R15 and R25. They are laptop backpacks. There are lots of laptop backpacks out there, but RiutBag laptop backpacks are backwards, and I'm going to show you what that means. Let me show you with an R10. This is the slimmest RiutBag. It's an R10. It, like all RiutBags, has no zips on the outside. There's no way of getting in anywhere here, unlike a normal rucksack where, strangely, the person behind you can get into your rucksack or backpack more easily than you can. I think this is really weird, and I think it adds to this feeling that we have that in cities travelling is stressful and a little bit weird. Instead, on a RiutBag and on all RiutBags, all the zips are at the back. So that means you can only get in here, here and here. And what that means is that the backpack being this way round allows your back to do all of the sort of naturally protecting all of your belongings when you are, especially when you're in really busy places, like for example in trains or planes or queues in cities, or you're just in crowds of people who are crushed in. These days, I'm there with my R10 and I'm like, come on, come closer to me, I really don't mind. Because I know that everything is safe. And it's just that knowledge that is meant to give you peace of mind. And I think backpacks this way are in fact the right way around. I call them backwards, but it's only because they're backwards in comparison to the vast majority of all rucksacks in the world. But I think these are the correct, or I might even say the Riot way around. But anyway, right, what I'm doing is answering questions about this range of laptop backpacks today. There's an R10, which is 10 litres, so that gives you a 15-inch laptop and then 10 litres of extra space. And let me see, if you actually kind of fill it out, I know people who, in fact, I know some people who will do an overnight trip with an R10 and their laptop in there, even if it involves going to New York and back. So yeah, the R10, if you're a light packer, can actually be quite good for that sort of thing. If you're a little bit less of a light packer and you just want a full-sized day pack, then the R15 gives you an extra 5 litres in there. Also gives you bottle holders for people who find bottle holders important. And then this year I brought out the largest RiutBag ever. I've actually filled this one out with some stuff so you can see what it's like. It is the TARDIS of the RiutBag collection. It is absolutely vast. I used, but it is as big as is luggagely possible for a backpack or for any luggage to get on Ryanair and EasyJet flights. And that's the kind of, for me, is an important measure of how big something should be, because I think we should be able to get on budget flights at the best price, and that means using the maximum capacity on those. So with this filled with stuff, the R25, I actually went from Berlin to London, and that was with EasyJet. And then I went from London to Beijing and Beijing to Auckland with Air China, and then with Air New Zealand I flew from Auckland to Wellington, only with this for 30 days and no check-in luggage. And the people at the airport were, they found it was really bizarre. So this is a large RiutBag. It's the R25, it's the newest one, but it is large for a reason, and that's because it's the maximum capacity that you can take onto an aeroplane. So those are the basic R10, R15 and R25, and the important thing about them is A, they're backwards, so you feel total peace of mind wherever you're travelling. B, they carry up to 15-inch laptops in them. And C, they are made of a really anti-abrasive, happy material that you can throw around any way that you want. Jonathan is saying, I'd like to see a model for the DJ range. Will you be doing one? Jonathan, if you could tell me what you mean by DJ, do you mean like actually carrying records? Let me know what you mean and then I can answer that question. Right, so I'm going to go on to the second question that I've got here, which is which size laptops actually fit inside. So in an R10, the measurements that you've got are, they fit 11-inch, 13-inch and up to 15-inch laptops. And the kind of measurements, if I actually measure inside here for you, the maximum across that you're going to fit inside is 25 centimetres. And the maximum distance that I think is safe to use, so for the longest part of a laptop, is about, well, between 35 and 38 centimetres, depending on where you're measuring. Every single RiutBag is within 1 centimetre when it's actually being made. Ah, for DJs to carry a laptop. Okay, cool. It's possible that the measurements are out by 1 centimetre on every single RiutBag because they are handmade at the sewing machine. But those are the basic measurements for RiutBag laptops. Actually, on the R25, as you might expect, there is a little bit more room. There's a little bit more room in terms of length for the height of a laptop. Let me just quickly come back to Jonathan's question here. So Jonathan's talking about a laptop bag for DJs to carry a laptop stand and other bits. I mean, arguably, Jonathan, in the R25, if what you need is space, you can carry your laptop. I've just put loads of rubbish in here, by the way. You can carry your laptop in here, and you can use the rest of the space in your RiutBag to fit it however you want. If you've got, I know that records do actually sit in here, individual records, or even like up to 5 will sit quite happily inside a RiutBag. But it would be, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of kit that you've got for your, like what kind of DJ kit you've got, to see what would and what wouldn't fit in. But in general, you can fill this space with whatever you want. So I think it might work in the R25 if you're willing to carry around the larger backpack, and it might even work in the R15. Now, lots of people have been in touch about 17-inch laptops. I actually spent quite a lot of last year prototyping a 17-inch laptop bag. And let me show you where the issue lies. This is the space. Really, inside this bit is where your laptop will sit. And just so you totally see how it works. Like that's, RiutBags work like that. So your laptop goes in here. Then I've got a zip around the outside. And then I've got the outer part of the back panel. And then I go into the actual RiutBag. Now, when I get a 17-inch laptop in here, unfortunately, oh, cool, thanks, Jonathan. Unfortunately, the dimensions required by the RiutBag to fit that 17-inch laptop into this part start really being slightly bigger than most human beings. And there is actually one person walking around in the world with a RiutBag prototype for a 17-inch laptop. And I believe he actually uses it, but it is vast. And I think it is not practical at this point to actually create a 17-inch laptop RiutBag. So I honestly spent most of last year trying to crack the prototype for the 17-inch laptop, but it's just the dimensions start becoming bigger than human beings, and so I think I can't go into the 17-inch laptop version at the moment. And there's also another reason. When I design from the point of view of being a user. So I know what it's like to carry a 13-inch laptop, a 15-inch laptop, but I had to do quite a lot more research to actually understand who is using a 17-inch laptop. And it was people like designers, gamers, architects, and in some cases they were saying, yes, I carry a 17-inch laptop, but I don't actually carry it every day. Whereas I've made the RiutBag for people who are commuting and travelling with a laptop every single day. So I think at the moment, I need to do more to understand the 17-inch laptop community and what they're really doing with their laptops, how often they need to carry them. And then perhaps I can start designing a different type of RiutBag for them. Currently in the surveys that I do, it's about 7% of the people who are taking my surveys who are looking at 17-inch laptop backpacks or who are using 17-inch laptops. So at the moment, the vast majority of people who are taking my surveys are actually looking at 15 and 13-inch laptops. So I'm going to keep prototyping 17-inch laptop backpacks in the background, but they're not here yet. So sorry to everyone who is waiting for those. Let me look at the last questions that have come in. How about a pretty one with space for the kind of stuff we carry in our handbags? Well, hello Madeline. At the moment, the focus of my RiutBags is the people who need backpacks who are carrying a lot of tech, up to like £3,000 worth of technology and belongings in their backpacks on a daily basis. And that is why I want to make a safe backpack for those people. And I think functionality and that broad urban plain design is what appeals to the vast majority of people. And so far in my life, I've only ever used a backpack that is very plain and very black or very navy blue. And I've never really been a handbag person. So I'm probably not the person to create the kind of RiutBag that would be for the kind of handbag users. But it's something that I might be able to look at as I sort of get further and further into being a RiutBag designer. What I have just created is a very light RiutBag Crush, and it's much smaller than the most RiutBags, and so I have been able to and so like this is basically my little day pack. I just did a live stream on it this morning. So you might be able to put the things that you would normally put into your handbag in here, but at the moment my focus is on making really safe laptop backpacks, which look very plain and are able to sort of go unnoticed through the world. So what you can do is take my urban travel survey and give your opinion, saying actually I do think that we need something that is slightly different and is doing a different thing for different users. So please let me know about that via my travel survey, which is on my website, riut.co.uk. I think, let me just quickly go back to the last question. Tara. So Tara is saying, I'm going to throw a curveball into this discussion, but your eye for clever going to consider making... let's see. I'm going to be using my big commuter RiutBag as a part changing bag and part travel bag when we go to the US in December. Actually, if you look back at my blogs, when the first RiutBag ever came out, I was in Hong Kong with one of my friends who had just had a baby, and so we actually kitted out the original RiutBag as a laptop bag, which is a laptop bag as a baby changing bag, and it did the job. You actually, if you used the... we were using the bottle holders down the side to be able to take baby wipes out of. I think we used the laptop bag to put all sorts of stuff inside. So it does kind of work as a baby changing bag. You can use RiutBags however you want. I start them as a laptop bag for urban travel, for the commute every day. But if you can think of other ways to use it, I think that's really good. Carl Popper doesn't have a question, but just wants to say thank you for creating the RiutBag. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Carl. That's really great. Right. Rico, I'm undecided between the R15 and the 25 size. I hope you don't get offended when I ask you. Right, here we go. So I'm like 5'3" or 4. I'm about, or if you're in Europe, maybe I'm like 160 centimeters tall. And this is what an R25 looks like on me. This is the extra large RiutBag. It is meant to be bigger, and it is the maximum that you can carry onto a plane. So if I turn right around, it is a really quite large backpack, but it's quite comfortable for that reason. The straps are larger. It really works fine as an everyday bag if you are someone quite a lot broader and taller than me, but if you are as small as me, then you can use this to travel around the world, because I went from Berlin to London to Beijing to Auckland for 30 days with just everything in this bag, so it's really rather large. Now if I show you an R15, if you just think about it, so a 25 litre bag versus a 15 litre bag, 15 litre bag is almost half the size in capacity. This is an R15, and I kind of want to put some stuff inside it, but this is what an R15 looks like on my back. Some people find that it's fine for the everyday, but it doesn't have quite enough room in it when they want to go away for a few days. So it's sort of, I think, like when I talk to people about it, in fact I spoke to someone recently, they were having exactly the same issue. Should I go for the 15 or the 25? If you are the kind of person who is fine having a large backpack with you, and that's what you're used to, then I think the R25 is probably the best one. Then you get the most space inside and you can use it for a lot of different things. The R15, at some point, you will find there is a point at which nothing else goes into it. You could say that about the 25, but I have not really, you don't really test the limits too much on the R25. So let me just make sure I've definitely, cool, oh good, thanks Madeline. Yeah, so Rico, if you are okay with a large backpack size, then I think the R25 will be totally great, because it will have plenty of space in it. The R15 is really there for people who just want a medium amount of stuff on a daily basis with them, and they don't want to have a super slim riot bag. And I find, yeah, lots of people say they kind of get to the limits of an R15 quite quickly in terms of capacity, but then that's also good because it stops you overpacking. And I have actually managed to get on, I think I've gone away for 2 weeks with my R15 before, so if you're packing light, then it's kind of okay. Right, let me go down and see what I've got. Robert, I don't really have a question, just want to thank you again. Oh, cool. I'm glad that you've been using your R15. Cool. Rico, you've got it on the R25. Immense. Yeah, I really love the R25 for its hugeness, and even I can fit it on my relatively small frame. So where was I? Yeah, let's talk about the questions that have been coming in. Is there a quick way to get your laptop out of a riot bag without having to open the entire thing? This is a very important question. In fact, let me just get an old laptop of mine that I no longer use. Right. There is a certain way to use the riot bag when you've got a laptop in there. So, firstly, I want to talk about zips very quickly. This is a tip for anyone with a riot bag. Usually, if you are using a backpack, most people will put their zips right down to the bottom here. That's what you would do if you have a normal backpack. You'd put the zips right to the bottom because that tends to be the most secure place to put them. On a riot bag, I do not suggest your zips being here. I actually really suggest keeping your zips right in the middle here. Firstly, when you're wearing it, this means that all of your zips are very well covered by your back. You actually can't feel them. I don't know why that is. It's a sort of magical thing about the riot bag design. You just can't feel them against your back. It's partly because I think they just move out of the way and they come here. You just don't really feel them in the same way as you might imagine. If you keep your zips here, this means that you can always, really easy, just keep your zips down to this point and grab your laptop whenever you need it. So if you imagine you're in the train or plane, your laptop is down by your knees, your backpack is down by your knees, then you can just unzip it, get your laptop out, put it back in, zip it up and go. And that is really my intention with that laptop compartment at the back. So you do not have to open the entire RiutBag in order to take out your laptop. But there are aspects about the design that means when you basically, the things that you are most likely to want to get out of your backpack are perhaps your wallet, your phone, your keys and your laptop whilst you're on your way to somewhere. But I have designed it so that those things are accessible, but basically everything else is less accessible when you are on your way somewhere. And instead, I am presuming in my design that you only open your RiutBag fully when you get to your destination, perhaps when you get to your holiday or you get to your hotel or you get home. That's the idea. So, yeah, someone has written in to say, how has the RiutBag changed? Here we go. Wait, I'll just quickly do one of these questions again. Yoraj, I just want to say a huge thank you for your R25. We just returned from Thailand and it was working beautifully. Whoa, you've already used it in Thailand. That's so great. You're thinking about bigger layout as well, maybe a 40 or 50 litre. You're kind of reading my mind a little bit. I'm definitely not talking about 40 or 50 litres for release right now, but I have got a RiutBag prototype quite near me. I'm not going to show it to you just yet. That is looking at how I can develop the size of the RiutBag, but in keeping the core design, which is the zips on the back, but really finding space in other places. So yeah, I am actually looking at much larger designs. So I'm looking at much smaller designs like the RiutBag Crush, which I think are going to be really useful for people who are going traveling. But I'm also looking at much larger ones. But I'm afraid they're not going to be around this year because the prototyping process is a little tricky on this one. And the reason for that is that, yeah, they basically move quite a lot. They're going to have quite a few different modes. So I'm just working out exactly how those are going to come together. But yeah, do keep an eye out in the next year or so as I start prototyping and actually making those much larger and much smaller RiutBags. So thanks for that question. I'm glad the R25 did its job whilst you were away. Yeah, I agree. So R15, I'm just reading Robert's comment here, that it solved your 1 to 3 day package gap quite well. Yeah, if you go much more than about 3 days, and the R15 sort of is no longer going to be the backpack that's going to, I mean, unless you're like me and you're happy to really pack light, and then I have been able to travel for about 10 days in this bag. And I know Hayden out there that aren't you going to be going on a motorbike trip across all of Europe with just your R15? That is brave, and I can't wait. I hope that you manage to stop off and say hi whilst you're on your way through, so that I can see how you're getting on with your R15. It really depends who you are. Some people say even for their everyday commute, the R15 isn't big enough, and I think they're going to be the people who go for the R25s. For me, I agree, Robert. The 1 to 3 day trip works quite well with the R15. Mark Hawkins, can we get a trade discount for us early adopters who would love the new version? Well, Mark, I think all of you are early adopters of the RiutBag design. This time, 3 years ago, there were only sketches of the RiutBag, and they were sitting next to my laptop as I registered the company Riut. Then I prototyped it, and then I took it on Kickstarter. And the people